Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Pack Radio. How are you this evening? I will be acting as your stage manager. Before we get started, we have a couple of things that we need to go over. First of all, can we have this light on for just a moment, please? What does that say, everyone?
Fire.
Okay, your responses are going to have to be a little bit louder than that. This is live radio, and the folks at home can't see your lips move. So what does this say?
Fire.
Wonderful. That's group we've had all night. All right, now we tape our broadcast in front of a live studio audience. Your responses are very important to our show. Now, when the light is off, like it is now, that means we are off air. We are free to make whatever noise is necessary to prepare for the next part of our broadcast. However, when the light is on and it reads on air, then we encourage you to spontaneously react whichever way we ask you to. Okay, so shall we try? If these signs were lit up here, what do you think you would do? First of all, my name is Marilyn Jean. Not only am I the studio stage manager, but I'm also one of the 3 Monroe sisters who make up the world-famous Singing Pact Girls. Oh, I love those signs. Okay, this is my sister, Betty. Not only does she sing like a nightingale, but she provides musical stings on the organ. Not only can she sing, but, well, she's awful pretty, don't you think? Hello. And next we have our announcer extraordinaire, Mr. Dirk Dagger.
Tonight's announcements are brought to you by me.
Now it's time to meet the stars of our show. Now you know her as the irrepressible Jane Sherlock on the hit drama series Meet Miss Sherlock. Please give a warm welcome to Miss Charity Case. And he plays Peter Blossom, lawyer and hunky fiancé to Miss Sherlock. Please say hello to Hugh Mungus. And let's not forget that little character actress performing multiple roles every week. Her voice is like a finely tuned instrument, Amanda Lynn. And of course, we've saved the best for last. Now on the silent screen, he's known as the man of 100 faces. Here in our studio, he's known as the man of a dozen or so voices. Please say hello to our own Hollywood royalty, Mr. Fillmore Seats. Okay, it looks like the broadcast is about to begin, so if you will please take a moment to silence anything that might buzz, ring, ding, or hum a little tune during our presentation tonight. Go ahead, I'll wait. You will also take note that we have unplugged all of our telephones here in the studio.
And nobody step on this cord here. It's a little frayed.
Sounds like an excuse for the next time he screws things up.
Lay off, Fillmore.
You can't talk to the star like that. He can't talk to the star like that. It's unprofessional.
Stow it, lady.
That, sir, is no lady. That is my wife.
You said it.
Thanks for standing up for me, dear. Do you want your coffee now?
No, not till after the show. Just look after my ads.
Places, please. We are on. In 3, 2...
Hello out there in Radio Land, and welcome to Suspense Radio. Pact Sisters.
P-A-T. The best told mysteries, it's a fact, can only be heard right here on Pact. P-A-T.
If suspense in life is what you lacked, turn your dial onto Pact.
P-A-T. When you like your stories overacted, tune your dial till it's impacted. P-A-T. Radio.
Well, there you have it, folks. As clever as they are beautiful. We'll be back with tonight's story right after a message from these sponsors.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted. This is a rat problem, Rose. Gives me nightmares thinking of you alone in that apartment with a dozen little rats.
Hey, didn't those traps I gave you work?
Oh, no, the only thing that they trapped were dust bunnies. But don't worry, the rats are no longer a problem. But you said you couldn't afford an exterminator.
Or your own traps.
Or anything else. You know, you really should give up the gambling thing.
And taking things that aren't yours.
I can take care of myself. Despite my bad habits, and the rats are no longer a problem. Thank you very much. Isn't this Marilyn's bracelet you're wearing? I'm betting that she won't miss it.
Hold on, everyone. We've got a problem. Here you go. What happened? The sound guy isn't here yet.
For Pete's
Foley artist hasn't shown up.
Oh, well, can't you call him to see if he's okay?
No. All the phones have been unplugged. Here you go. I'm gonna need some help, girls. Can you help me get some volunteers, please?
Ma'am, will you come over there? Yeah? Come on.
Excellent. That was so fast. Good job, girls. Thank you. Hi, come on over. Hello, welcome. This will just take a moment, folks.
Take a seat, please. Have your seat.
Well, everyone say hello to Matt and Pamela. You two are truly doing us a favor this evening. So, Matt, your job is very simple. You're going to do things like ring the phone, single the keys, handle the lock, pick up the phone and dial it, and hang up. You got that? And Pamela, your job is to knock on things, open and close doors, and thump people over the head. Oh, you like that? I do like that. You're not a bad person, are you? No. Great. Okay. Now we just need to decide who's going to fire off the gun. Rose. There you go. Okay, everyone has their scripts. I think we are just about ready to go.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
We cannot work like this. This is unprofessional.
Hey, would you take a look at her?
Does somebody want to tell her that this is radio?
Oh, no. The red hats. That role can only be played with the red hats.
I'm sorry, I looked everywhere. Uncle, look again. Good luck! I stole that hat from his dressing room 2 days ago.
You didn't.
I did. I gave it to a homeless guy in front of the studio.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm not. You should be rewarded. Fillmore is a pompous brat without the burr.
Oh, okay. Rose, we will talk about this later.
Wait a minute, this has got to be some sort of mistake. Should I be playing the role of Slater?
What does it say?
It says it's played by Humongous.
Well, are you humongous?
I certainly am.
Congratulations.
What I am not is Fillmore Seats. I can't play more than one role at a time.
Whip? We've run out of hats. We can't do it.
She's right. I do not have a hat for that role.
Okay, people, do not panic. It is obviously a typo, and it is a small role, so we'll just give it to the understudy.
Who's that?
The sound guy.
No, Mary.
Yes!
Oh, great. First the Foley and now this.
What do you think? You think you can handle a small part like that?
Well, I'm not humongous, but I'll give it a shot.
This is completely unprofessional. We cannot work like this.
Heads up, everyone! We are on in 30 seconds. Sound.
Oh, yeah, ready.
Announcer.
Ready.
Lights.
Ready.
You know, I'm not even sure why we have lights. Foley.
Oh, dear.
Oh, heaven help us. Okay. And we're on in 3, 2.
Welcome Welcome back to Suspense Radio on
PT Radio.
It's time for a new installment of everyone's favorite detective show, Meet Miss Sherlock.
Jane?
Yes, Peter.
Now?
Now what, Peter?
Will you marry me now? Tonight?
Oh, Peter, I'm so sorry I can't tonight. Tonight, I have to solve the case of the dead man's chest.
And now it's time to meet Miss Sherlock, the smartest little gal ever to stumble across a real live clue. The room is dark, except for a cone of light from a hanging bulb shining on a desktop scattered with papers. Two men stare at each other.
No, don't be a fool. Don't do it.
You asked for it.
No, no.
Only one man moving now. Burning papers in the fireplace. The other man sprawled forward, one outstretched hand touching the desk calendar. Stiffening fingers point to the dateline, July 7th, 1939. July 1939. 7 years ago. But 7 years ago, Jane Sherlock was a kid in pigtails. Surely she can't get herself and Peter Blossom involved in that crime. Or can she? Right now, they're in the office of Blossoms on Broadway Interior Design, owned by Peter's mother, where Jane works as a buyer.
Peter, Mr. Bloom is an antiques dealer, and he bid $275, so I must have got a bargain, don't you think so?
You go to an auction to buy a set of candlesticks for a client and wind up with a rosewood chest as big as a house.
Oh, but Peter, it's an absolute, genuine, antique rosewood chest.
Sure, sure. And where are you going to put it? You'd have to move all of your furniture out to get it in your apartment.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Well, it's safe enough here in the back room of the shop. At least until Mother returns from her vacation.
Oh, your mother will love that chest.
I'm not so sure of that.
Oh, whoever could be calling a store at this hour?
Why don't you pick up the receiver and find out?
Blossoms on Broadway, Jane Sherlock speaking.
Miss Sherlock, you bought a rosewood chest today at the John Slater auction.
Why, yes, how did you know?
I went there to buy it myself, but I was too late. You paid $300. I'll give you $500.
$500?
Yes, well, how about it?
Peter, it's a woman. She wants to pay me $500 for that chest.
Quick, take it before she changes her mind.
Who's speaking, please?
My name is Iris March.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss March. The chest isn't for sale.
What are you doing?
Would $750 interest you?
No, oh no, I don't want to sell.
Why?
I hope you won't be sorry.
Sorry? What do you mean?
If you change your mind, call me at the Crescent Arms.
She hung up.
You let her hang up when she offered you $500 for the chest?
Oh no, she offered $750.
$750? $450 profit on a chest you can't use and you let her get away?
Oh no, she didn't get away. Her name is Iris March, and she lives at the Crescent Arms, and she wants me to call back if I change my mind.
Well, then call back quick.
Oh no, Peter.
But look, honey, that chest is no good to you, and this is your chance to get rid of it at a profit.
No. If Mr. Bloom bid on it, and now this Iris March wants it, it must be valuable, or has something valuable in it.
But you can't even get it open. There's no key.
Well, that's all right. I'll get a locksmith in the morning. Oh, Peter, someone's at the door.
It sounds just like the telephone. Well, let's see who it is.
Is Miss Jane Sherlock here?
I'm sorry, the shop is closed.
I know that. I want to see Miss Jane Sherlock.
Well, I'm Jane Sherlock. Come on in.
You bought a chest today at the Slater auction. I want that chest.
Well...
I give you $1,000 for it.
No, Mr.
Never mind that. 1,500. Take it or leave it. And you better take it.
Hear you, I don't like your tone.
Go away, you.
Jane and I are engaged, and I don't like the way you're talking to her.
Ah, you Peter Blossom, the lawyer. Well, you better give her a little advice. Tell her to sell me that chest.
I'll give you some advice instead. Get out of here!
Take it easy, pal.
Out!
Okay, but don't say I didn't warn you. I'll call you in the morning, Miss Sherlock. Maybe by then, you'll have changed your mind.
Nice, pleasant little fellow. Wish we had a piece of that cloth his suit was made out of.
Why?
We could use it as a checkerboard for a nice, quiet little game.
Oh, stop it. Peter, don't you see? If so many people want this chest...
Yes, Jane. I'm beginning to see. Come on, let's go back to the storeroom and have another look at that chest.
All right.
Maybe we can force the lock and see what's in the chest.
Oh, no, Peter. That would ruin it.
Well, I don't see what the... Listen, someone's in the storeroom. And there's a mouse foraging for cheese.
Someone's breaking the chest open.
We'll see about that. Hey, you with the flashlight. What do you think you're doing?
Well, I'll turn on the light. Look out, Peter. Peter, are you all right?
Well, how do I know? Get this thing off my head.
Wait till I turn on the lights.
Get this thing off me. I'm suffocating.
Oh, all right.
Stop laughing.
Oh, Peter, I can't help it.
What's so funny about it? Someone conks me on the head and then throws a sack over my face.
There, I've got it now.
Boy, I never knew how a potato felt before. Only I was alone in the sack.
Oh, Peter! Look at the beautiful chest. Somebody pried the lid off.
Well, now at least we'll be able to see what's inside.
Why, Peter, the chest is empty.
Well, he probably cleaned it out.
But he didn't have time. Besides, he probably brought the sack to carry away whatever was in the chest.
And sacked me up instead. But why pry open an empty chest?
I wonder. Well, there must be a secret panel or something.
Now, Jane, don't go in.
But Peter, there must be. Why would all these people want the chest? Oh, I found a little panel right here inside. It moves. Peter, the chest has a false bottom.
Anything there?
Oh, Peter!
What is it, Jane?
Peter, in the bottom of the chest, it's a skeleton.
Well, Chief, this is one time we don't need a medic to tell us the guy's really dead.
Do we have a Carlton?
No, Chief. That was just a joke.
Yeah, well, save it. You won't think it's a joke when the commissioner gets on our neck. And nice work, Jane. We have enough trouble at homicide solving nice, fresh killings without you digging up a skeleton.
Oh, but I didn't dig it up.
Well, how did it happen then?
Well, you see, Captain Dingle, I went to the Slater auction to buy a set of candlesticks for a client of Blossom's who happens to specialize in all sorts of lighting things like candles and lamps and lanterns and lights.
Oh, wait a minute. Peter, maybe you better tell us.
Well, there isn't much to tell, Dingle. Jane saw this rosewood chest and bought it,
And we couldn't get it open because there wasn't any key, and I didn't have room to take it to my apartment, and so we brought it here to the shop.
And busted it open with a hatchet, I suppose.
Oh, no, the man did that.
What man?
Why, the man that thought Peter was a potato.
Look, Jane, are you crazy or boy?
Well, I don't know about you, Dingy.
Don't call me Dingy.
All right.
You say you bought this rosewood chest at the Slater auction.
that's right.
Slater. John Slater. Are you talking about John Slater? He ran for judge once and got tied up with some singer and his wife sued him for divorce. Disappeared very mysteriously years ago.
7 years ago, to be exact, Ingle. Recently, Mrs. Slater went to court to have him declared dead. All nice and legal. I happened to be in court the morning it came up.
Yeah, I read it in the paper. It said that all his effects would be auctioned off to settle the estate. Didn't take Mrs. Slater long after she had him declared dead.
Well, don't forget, it was 7 years he had been missing.
Hey, maybe this guy didn't disappear, Chief. Maybe he was murdered. And the the skeleton in the box is him.
You know, Carlton, sometimes you show semblances of normal intelligence.
Thanks, Chief.
Now, wait a minute. Why would the girl want to buy the chest if all that was in it was a skeleton?
Oh, now there's a girl mixed up in this. I suppose you'll be telling me next that there were 3 Hindus and an Indian chief.
Oh, no. Just the girl and the man who sacked Peter up and that man who plays checkers on his suit.
Look here, Peter. If you don't explain this, we'll be here all night. Now, what about the potatoes?
Well, that's what Peter said he felt like when the man put the sack over his head.
Shut up, Jin. Well, Peter.
Well, in order of appearance, 3 people had tried to get that chest from Jane after she bought it at the auction today. First, a girl named Iris Marchphone.
Iris March? Never heard of her. Why did she want the chest?
Well, she didn't say. She barely hung up when some guy with a suit as loud as a sideshow barker came in.
Who was he?
He didn't say his name. Came off a little rough, so I asked him to leave.
Oh, Peter was wonderful. He practically threw the man out.
Then what?
Then we decided to take another look at the chest, so we headed to the storeroom.
But someone beat us to it. He was there in the dark. He had a flashlight.
He also had a sack which he pulled over my head. I suppose he brought the sack along to cart off the skeleton.
But after he hit Peter, he ran away.
Well, maybe that was the same guy, the one in the racetrack suit.
Well, no, I think this was a bigger man.
How do you know, Peter, if the room was dark?
I scuffled with him.
Well, it looks like 7 years ago somebody killed John Slater and put the body in the chest. But why wasn't it found before?
Oh, well, the auctioneer said that the chest was under a lot of old furniture in the attic.
Here's the medical examiner. Well, Ryan?
Don't ask me to set the hour of death this time. All I can tell you was somebody pumped 2 bullets into the guy a lot of years ago and then dumped him into the chest without any closer identifying objects.
Hey, Chief.
Yeah?
How about fingerprints?
Carlton, did you ever try and get fingerprints off a skeleton?
Oh, excuse me, Chief. I see what you mean.
Yeah, well, maybe the dentist can help us out. Any fillings in his teeth?
Got no teeth. The stiff must have worn false teeth and the killer threw them away. There's one thing, though.
What's that?
Well, there was an old fracture in the left femur.
Huh?
Stiff had a broken leg that healed.
And the leg is slightly shorter than the other.
Well, that may help. Now we'll have to see if we can run down this March curve.
Oh, I know where she lives.
What? Well, why didn't you say so before?
Well, you didn't ask me.
Well, I'm asking you now.
She said I could call her at the Crescent Arms.
Oh, Carlton, give me the number of the Crescent Arms.
I already looked it up. Here it is.
Okay, let's have a little chat with Iris March.
Yeah, but if she croaked the guy, she won't be there, Chief.
Well, one thing in our favor, Carlton, is that none of these people know the police have been called.
Maybe she's out for the evening.
She wanted to chat, didn't she? She'll be there. Hello, Miss March.
Hello? Help me. He's gonna kill me. Help! Ah!
Now, Carlton, why won't you let us leave the shop?
The Chief said not to, that's why.
Oh, Carlton.
You heard him yourself, Miss Sherlock.
But he He was just upset.
Well, he'll be more than just upset if I don't do like he says.
Well, I think it's mean. If I hadn't told him Miss March lived at the Crescent Arms, he never would have phoned her, and...
He practically heard her murdered over the phone.
Now look, Jane, hasn't it even occurred to you that Dingle may have wanted you to keep out of trouble?
Trouble? I've never had any trouble.
No? Well, this looks like trouble right now.
Okay, listen, buddy, if you don't get your mitts up right now...
Hey, you can't do that.
I can't, huh? Watch the other guy, Joe.
You hit Carlton with your gun. You killed him.
Nah, he's just listening to the birdies sing. Anybody else want to try something funny?
Not at the moment.
Oh, a wise guy, huh? Well, so is the other bud, and you saw what happened. You want some of the sing?
Thank you, no. Hey, let's go. Policeman!
Shut up, Joe. Signal the boss through the window.
Okay, he's coming out. Everything under control, boy?
Sure, boss. The guy on the floor got reckless, but he's behaving now.
Good.
Well, if it isn't our old friend Checkers.
Hey, what do you mean, Checkers?
Just admiring your suit.
What's the matter? It's tailor-made!
Shut up, Joe.
Well, Rags, you must give me the name of your tailor. It's Rags, right? Rags Doherty?
That's right, but it's too bad. We have to change our plans now.
Plans?
Yes, we came here for the chest. If your friend hadn't spotted who I was, we meant to leave you here. Well, not exactly free, tied up and gagged, but now...
Now what?
Now, I'm afraid you'll have to come with us. We're going for a little ride.
You have been listening to the first act of Meet Miss Sherlock and the case of the dead man's chest on
P-A-T Radio.
Tonight's episode is brought to you by Metropolitan Life Insurance, where it takes less than 1 penny a day to ensure a happy life for your loved ones.
Every time it rains, pennies from heaven.
That's right, folks. With a MetLife insurance policy, your family will be able to enjoy the lifestyle you could never give them while you were alive. Just think how much better your death will make things for everyone you know. That's the peace of mind you'll get with MetLife. And by the Gallery Theater. Come to the gallery this summer to see The Emperor's new musical, featuring the new hit song, This Is Not a Fairy Tale.
This is not a fairy tale. Didn't happen once upon a time. There's no cottage in the wood, no evil versus good, no lock of hair that you can climb. This is happening
musical. It's the comedy with the heart. Perfect for the entire family, beginning May 24th. And now, before we get back to our story, here is Benny Goodman with last year's big hit, It's Only a Paper Moon.
Okay, everyone, we are clear. Very good job. Let's hear it for our Foley team. I just have a few notes.
So how did
You are delicious. You'll be discovered in no time.
Not if my husband has anything to say about it. He's a big man in this town.
And getting bigger by the hour.
Good one, Charity. He's a legend in his own mind.
He's twice the man you are.
My point exactly.
Stay away from me, you son of a witch! With a capital B! I can't believe you fought with her! Betty!
Betty!
Honey, what is this all about?
Are you kidding? It's obvious what this is all about.
No!
Yes.
Maybe! But right now, we need to get ready to go live. You need to pull it together, Betty.
Do you want your coffee now?
You're not surprised?
I'm not surprised.
Or you're not upset?
Do you want your coffee now?
After the show, just take care of my house.
I'll be ready.
You know, it's always the quiet ones.
Hey, wait a minute. I lost a pair of shoes just like the ones you're wearing.
Oh, well, imagine that. And we're back. In 3, 2.
And now, back to our story. Welcome back to...
ACT Radio.
All right. Now back to our story. When last we left Miss Sherlock, she and Peter were captured by a group of men who were intent on getting their hands on the mysterious chest that Jane had purchased at auction. The chest contained a skeleton. The skeleton of a man with no teeth and a leg whose growth had been stunted by an injury. Carlton, the policeman who was supposed to guard over the pair, was knocked unconscious, leaving the defenseless Jane and Peter to their own devices, armed with nothing but their wits.
Peter,
Yes, Jane?
what do you suppose they're going to do with us?
I wish I knew. Maybe it's better I don't.
Do you know where we are?
Well, sure, I know this neighborhood. We're in the back room of an old nightclub.
A nightclub?
Yeah, it's been closed for 5 or 6 years. Rags Doherty used to run it.
Peter, are you tied up like I am?
Can't move a finger. Well, maybe one finger.
Peter, I think maybe I can get one of my hands loose.
Oh, try it, Jane.
Maybe we'd better not talk.
No, keep talking. They're probably just outside and might get suspicious. Keep reworking your hands while we talk.
Peter, what do you suppose will happen to Carlton?
That is a really good question, Jane. On the tip of my tongue, I don't know.
Well, I'm afraid for Carlton. Joe said he hated policemen and he might
Well,
just
don't worry, Jane. Are you getting your hands loose?
I've almost got it.
Good.
Is Rags a gangster?
He runs this string of nightclubs now, Jane. He used to be mixed up with the Hank Turner outfit.
Who's Hank Turner?
He's a crooked politician. Rags was a strong-arm boy and... Hey, wait a minute.
What is it, Peter?
Slater. The guy who originally owned the chest was mixed up with Turner, too.
Peter, so maybe that's the connection.
Well, of course it is. Slater was a crooked lawyer, and Turner was running him for judge.
Uh-huh.
Then his wife sued for divorce, and they threw him to the wolves.
Why?
They couldn't stand a scandal. There was a nightclub gal mixed up in it. A gal named, let me think, M. something or other. May North, that's it.
The rope's almost loose.
Good, keep going. Yeah, that's it. May North used to sing in Doherty's nightclub.
Well, then maybe Rags killed Slater and put him in that chest.
Maybe. I wish I knew if Slater had a bad leg.
A bad leg? Why?
The skeleton. One leg was shorter than the other. An old break.
Peter, I've got my hand free.
Okay, hurry, try and untie me.
All right. I can't get at the knot.
Wait. Here. Is that better?
Oh, yes. Oh, this knot is so tight.
Hurry, Jane, hurry.
I can't get the knot untied.
Well, I have some words of encouragement for you. Try, Jane, try.
Oh!
Hold it, sister.
I wasn't going anywhere.
I'll say you're not. Good thing I decided to look in on you. Sit down in that chair.
Oh!
Easy, Rags. No need to get rough.
Shut up, mouthpiece. Now, put your arms in back of the chair.
Oh, ouch.
There, I guess that'll hold you.
I'm sure it will.
Didn't have time to untie the counselor here, eh?
No, worse luck.
Now behave yourselves or I'll sick Joe onto you.
Joe? Oh, you mean the one who hates policemen?
Yeah, there's only two things Joe hates worse than coppers. That's lawyers and women.
Peter.
Yes, Jane?
Oh, Peter. I wish Captain Dingle were here.
Right this way, Captain Dingle. Right down the hall.
How long has Miss March lived here?
I only moved in last week. I do hope she's not in any trouble.
You got a hunch her troubles are over.
Well, this is her apartment.
Come on, open it up.
Yes, sir. I'll show you around, Captain.
Let's try the bedroom.
It's this way.
Here she is. Poor dame.
Is she dead?
Plenty dead. Knife must have gone through her heart. Let's get a look at her face.
Oh, must we?
We must. I'll turn her over.
Oh, my.
Do you know who that is?
She said her name was Iris.
March my eye! That's the nightclub canary that John Slater's wife sued for divorce about. That's Slater's former girlfriend, May North. How long has she been staying here?
I only moved in last week.
I see. And was she alone?
Oh, yes, of course.
She never had any visitors.
Only once that I saw. Kind of a stocky man, bald-headed and a lot older than she was. He said he was her uncle.
Yeah, uncle, huh? Well, stocky guy. You come with me.
Me? Oh, I'm not a detective. I'm allergic to guns.
That's all right. This guy seems to prefer knives. And I may need a witness. We're going to pay a call on Mrs. John Slater.
You see, Captain Dingle, when my husband disappeared, I dropped the divorce proceedings I filed against him.
And why, Mrs. Slater?
Well, I could hardly bring myself to go through with the divorce against a man I thought was dead.
Of course, you do believe that your husband is dead.
Well, yes. That's why when 7 years had passed, I had him declared deceased. Hank told me that was the thing to do.
Hey.
Hank Turner. He's been a good friend to me all these years. More than that. In fact, we're to be married soon.
You plan to marry Hank Turner? That is news.
Oh, I trust you'll keep it in confidence. I just like publicity. I had heard it once before when John and that singer...
Yes, I understand, Mrs. Slater, but tell me, why were you so convinced that your husband was dead?
Well, I'm sure he is. You see, my husband had rather strange acquaintances. I'm afraid he was mixed up with the underworld. A man named Rags Doherty and him used to spend quite a bit of time together. Well, there were others, too. I suppose you think it melodramatic of me, but I think my husband was murdered, Captain Dingle.
I see. Mrs. Slater, your husband had a large rosewood chest. It was one of the articles sold at the auction of his effects. Remember it?
Oh, yes. It used to be in his study, and then it was moved to the attic the same night he was killed.
Your husband moved it?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't home that night, but the next day the chest was gone. I never saw it again until the attic was cleared out the day of the auction.
I see. Tell me something else. Did your husband wear false teeth?
Why do you ask that?
Oh, merely routine, Mrs. Slater. I hope I don't mind.
Well, John was very vain, so few people knew it. But he wore a complete set of plates, upper and lower.
Aha. One more question and then we'll go. Had your husband ever had a serious accident to his left leg? A bad break that left his leg shorter than the other one?
No, Captain Dingle. My husband had never broken a bone in his body.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Slater.
Goodbye, Captain Dingle. I'll have the maid show you out.
That's not necessary. We can find our way. Thank you again.
Not much help, was I?
Even less than I had imagined. But I was still here a witness.
She wasn't much help either, I suppose.
A lot more help than I expected. For one thing, she stirred up something in my mind I'd forgotten.
What was that?
Rags Doherty had a brother, Gimpy.
So?
Gimpy Doherty hasn't been seen or heard of since the day John Slater disappeared.
Peter,
Yes?
can't you get loose?
No, he did a good job at tying me up here.
Oh, gosh, there's someone coming. I think we're in for it.
I'm afraid so.
I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Don't try and figure it out. It's the boss's orders. He said bring the chest in here.
I know, but
Just put it down and shut up. Now you go out the back door and I'll watch the front. The boss is getting jittery.
Yeah,
The boss is coming in to take a look at the skeleton to see if it's gimpy.
Get
going.
Okay.
Well, Jane, here we are all together again. You and I and the dead man's chest.
Oh, Peter, I wish I'd never seen that horrid thing.
You can say that again.
Oh, Peter, I wish I'd never seen that horrid thing.
You can say that again.
Oh, Peter, I wish I'd never seen that horrid thing.
You can say that again.
Oh, who's Gimpy?
Gimpy?
Well, that man said Rags wanted to see if the skeleton was Gimpy.
Gimpy. Jane, I think I've got the answer. Rags had a brother named Gimpy. Maybe that's why he wanted to check. Maybe he thinks Slater killed Gimpy.
Nice work, Counselor. That's exactly what I do think. I sent Gimpy to see Slater that night 7 years ago to get him to pay off on a gambling debt. Gimpy never came back.
And Slater disappeared.
Yeah, and when I ran into May North yesterday, I put 2 and 2 together.
May North?
She calls herself Iris March now, but she was the gal who ran off with Slater. I got to talking. Slater's broke. He's back in town to try and keep his wife from marrying Hank Turner.
But how?
Oh, he was going to come back to life again. But May said there was one thing he had to do first.
Get that chest.
That's right, sister. That's when I fumbled. I tried to get that chest at the auction, but I was too late. So I came to you.
Then you killed Iris. I mean May.
Killed her? I didn't even know she was dead.
We think somebody killed her tonight, just before you kidnapped us.
That dirty rat Slater. He must have figured she spilled the dope to me. Well, if that's Gimpy in that chest, Slater will fry the both of them.
Don't bother to look, Rags. It's Gimpy in that chest.
Slater, I've been waiting for this minute.
Hold it, Rags, right where you are.
You wouldn't dare shoot me. I got a man on each door.
You had a man on each door. You see, I'm quite handy with a knife, as May found out tonight.
You took out Matt and Joe?
Joe was stupid. I made a noise outside the back door and he stuck his neck out. As for Nat, he was watching the front, so I got him in the back.
And you killed Gimpy. My kid brother! You!
Don't try anything, Rags. I'm not ready to kill you yet.
Look, Slater, I'm Peter Blossom.
Oh, hey, I've heard of you. Oh, too bad, Mr. Blossom. Brother of the bar, too.
But surely you're not going
Dressed
to...
up nice, you and the lady there. like Christmas turkeys for roasting. Very fitting, especially when I burn this place down over your heads.
But Mr. Slater, you wouldn't do that.
Oh, but my dear, I have no choice. You see, John Slater is coming back to life. Nobody has anything on me now except for you people here. You see, I shoot Rags, then I burn this place with all of you and Gimpy's bones.
Why, you...
No, Rags, don't!
We're coming in! Hands up, all of you!
Oh, Rags!
Jane Sherlock, where are you?
Over here, Dingle. So help me. I think she's fainted.
Well, Jane, I can't say I blame you for fainting.
It was silly of me.
Now, it was no such thing, my little screwball. Shoving your chair against Slater so Rags could get a shot at him was the sweetest job of blocking I ever saw on a football field.
But now, what will they do with Rags?
Slater was killed, Jane.
But we can both testify that Rags shot him in self-defense.
Oh, gosh, I hope we can get him off.
You're forgetting one thing, Jane.
What's that?
Rags and his gang did away with Carlton. We haven't found the body.
Oh, poor Carlton. What's that?
It's somebody knocking.
Coming from that chest.
Maybe Gimpy's skeleton has come to life.
Let me get the lid up.
Oh, be careful, please.
Okay, Dingle, you lift that side. It's squeaky, but it's opening. It's Carlton.
Carlton, what are you doing in that chest?
Gosh, Chief, I don't know. I just woke up here with a bunch of bones. I thought I was dead and gone to heaven. But Chief, now that I see you here, tell me, am I in the other place?
Well, Jane, I never thought we'd see your apartment again.
Oh, neither did I, Peter. I thought we were goners.
Well, I hope we've heard the last of the Rosewood chest.
Yes, Peter, so do I.
Jane, honey, no more auctions?
No more auctions, Peter.
Good.
No, Peter, it's the door. Let me go. I'll open the door in just a minute. Thank you. Now I'll close it.
Now what?
It's a telegram from Mr. Bloom. You know, the antique dealer.
Now what does he want?
We've got to hurry on over there right now. He's got another rosewood chest.
Oh, where's my hat, Jane? Here we go again.
Well, it looks like Peter Blossom is going to have to wait before he gets a chance to propose again. Tune in next week when Jane and Peter find themselves involved with a prim and somewhat grim old maid and a parrot that talks too much in the case of the cockeyed parrot. It's another adventure for Jane Sherlock and Peter Blossom when you can meet Miss Sherlock. You have been listening to Suspense Radio, bringing you the best in murder and mayhem. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the latest news stories and the 1940 sing-a-thon featuring the Packed Girls. But for now, this is Dirk Dagger and the whole crew at
PAT Radio.
signing off.
Very good show. Once again, please thank our Foley team. Okay, now don't anyone go anywhere because we're back next with the news and a preview of tomorrow night's show in just a few moments.
Yes, so?
Not bad, kid. If anybody is dreadful around here, oh, you should be ashamed of yourselves.
Scrumptious. You were simply Scrumptious.
Your coffee, dear.
Oh, thanks, but really, it's...
Cream,
you know,
sugar.
Yes.
Marilyn, could you pass me the cream and sugar?
Of course. Oh! Stupid cord, I nearly spilled everything.
Speaking of spillers, maybe you'd better stand on the mat.
Someone bring him a chair.
Really, sweetheart, you don't have to.
What number 2?
3.
Hey, you! Did you get a load of tomorrow night's script? This is funny stuff.
Comedy scares me. The last time I told a joke on the air, it died a quick and painful death. This is not funny.
Come on, Fillmore, you louse! Breathe! Oh my god. He's dead. I forgive you. Okay, well, what do we do now?
Well, first of all, we've got to get rid of them.
Nobody's going anywhere. Detective Early, Anaheim PD. Nobody's going anywhere until I get some answers to a few questions.
Well, do you have a first name, detective? I despise being formal.
Yes, I do, Miss Case. It's Brighton.
Bright and early, huh? Wait a minute. Are you the same Bright Early who infiltrated the drug ring and caught their leader, the infamous Worm?
Yeah, that's me. I caught ringworm. Would have lost a chance to catch him, too, but that earthquake woke me up from that deep sleep.
Hey, I remember that headline in the paper. It read, "You have to wake up bright and early to catch the worm." Oh, this is not very professional.
I'm sorry, lady.
That's no lady. That's his wife.
Shut up, darling. The detective is speaking.
Let's move him into the back room where I can examine him. And then I have a few questions for some of you. Should only take about 15 minutes.
So you mean we're all just supposed to sit here for 15 minutes?
No, get up, stretch leg, visit the camp, grab a refreshment, but nobody leaves here until we solve this murder.
This is not professional. Just think of it as an intermission. Oh, all right.
Come on. Okay, everyone. You heard the detective. He has a few questions for us. So we'll all be expecting you back in your seats in about 15 minutes. And we still have the news and the sing-a-thon to get through. So just keep it together.
Sisters to deliver the news.
PAT News.
Tonight's news is sponsored by Blue Moon Bathroom Tissue.
I saw you sitting alone.
2-ply and extra absorbent. This kind of comfort comes along once in a blue moon.
Well, it's only a paper moon.
Yeah. And now for the news. The U.S. steelworkers strike is taking its toll on the national economy. Political divisions between pro-union and anti-union forces widen with no compromise in sight. Meanwhile, the national debt is growing and unemployment is on the rise. Analysts say things can only get better from here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been handed breaking news. A murder has been reported at a PACT radio station in Anaheim, California. Famous silent screen actor and mediocre radio star, Fillmore Seats has passed away under suspicious circumstances.
Murder!
The staff at PACT is shocked by this turn of events. But the cast of Suspense Radio has taken a vow to solve this murder on the air this very night. What amazing news. Famous radio star and amateur sleuth, Humongous, has promised to solve the mystery in the form of a radio play.
You cannot do this.
Well, that voice you just heard in the background was that of Detective Bright and Early proclaiming that solving a mystery live on the air just isn't done.
Hello, everyone. I'm Humongous.
Congratulations!
And I promise you that Suspense Radio will not go off the air until we have solved the mystery of the murder of Fillmore Seats.
This has been your nightly edition of PACT News.
PACT News! Are you crazy?
This will not be happening on my watch.
We have thousands of listeners, and you're running for district attorney. I don't think you're going to want to disappoint them.
Well, I for one want no part in this, so I'm going home.
Nobody is going anywhere.
For once, I agree with the detective. You're not going anywhere. And with your penchant for gambling and kleptomania, you're a prime suspect.
She's not a klepto, whatever you said. She just likes to borrow things.
You mean like shoes?
You can't seriously suspect Rose.
I don't know. I haven't finished writing the script yet. But she's a possibility because she had racked up a pretty hefty gambling debt with the deceased.
But I swear I didn't do it. You know, what about Betty? She should be the prime suspect. You know what happened earlier tonight? She's scorned in love and all. What about her?
She's the one with the motive. He cheated on her.
Good point. I may need to do a rewrite. But I promise you this. By the time you're done with the 1940 sing-a-thon, I will have solved this case, and Detective Early will be putting someone behind bars.
This is not very professional. You're not going to seriously let him go through with this.
I'm kind of curious to see what he might come up with. I happen to have a few theories of my own.
Detective, we are on in a few minutes, and you need to do something to stop this.
Look, I came here tonight to be entertained. Well, now the entertainment value has gone up a notch. I suggest we all sit back for a minute and see how things turn out.
Oh, this is nuts. Okay, everyone, just take your places for the sing-a-thon. We're on in 3, 2...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the 1940 sing-a-thon featuring our very own PACT girls.
PAT Sing-a-thon!
First up is the lovely Rose Monroe, a girl whose singing will literally steal your heart. You can bet that her killer voice is... Here she is singing Don't Blame Me.
Don't blame me. His failings in love with you. You're under his spell, so how can you help?
clever, new lyrics and everything. Next up is Betty Monroe singing the actual lyrics to You Always Hurt the Ones You Love. Thank you, Betty Page, for that lovely rendition. And what a special treat that was, as she was joined on that song by Fillmore's wife. I mean, widow. Whose name escapes me for the moment, because I don't think I've ever heard it before. So we're rounding out this evening sing-a-thon is lovely Marilyn Jean Monroe singing It Had to Be You.
I need to say something.
Oh, dear God.
Both of my sisters are suspects in Fillmore Seat's murder. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Now, I don't know if either of them is guilty or not. Frankly, I don't care. The only thing that I could ever accuse them of is stealing my heart. I want them to know that they will always have my love.
back in a few minutes for the conclusion of this evening's broadcast on
P-A-T Radio. All right, girls, are we ready to face the music? Ready. Good.
All right, everyone. It's time to solve this case and win a Pulitzer for Suspense Radio. All right, detective, you might want to look these over. There is a part in it for you.
I'm flattered.
You're welcome. Okay, everyone, try to stick to the words on the page. Improvising is not encouraged. And because we want this to seem as genuine as possible, please, 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 please do not read ahead. I want you to be as surprised as I was when I wrote it.
Why are there 3 different colors?
Good question. 3 different endings, in case I fouled it up the first time. We start with white, but if I yell out blue or green, we go to those scripts.
And you expect us to just go along with this, just state your accusations live on the air?
Please do. These are quite good. I assure you that everything will be all right. You must trust me.
You heard the man. Ready, Dirk?
Sure, why not? After tonight, my career's got about as much chance of recovering as Fillmore.
Well, here we go. In 3, 2...
Welcome back to Suspense Radio, where for the first time, a real-life murder will be solved on the air in real-life time, with real-life people. Really? First, let's check in with Billy and his crime-solving partner, Private Detective Humongous.
All right, Hugh. I am completely at a loss here. I didn't see anything tonight that could possibly be a clue to who murdered Fillmore Seats.
Well, then it's time for you to wake up bright and early. Don't you remember when Betty had that meltdown?
Stay away from me, you son of a witch with a capital B. I can't believe you slept with her.
Betty.
But who is she yelling at? In walks the familiar and soon-to-be deceased Fillmore Seats.
Betty.
Honey, what is this all about?
Are you kidding? It's obvious what this is all about.
No.
Yes.
Yes, it's obvious now. Isn't it, Detective?
If you say so, Hugh.
I do say so. Betty poisoned Fillmore Seats' coffee in a jealous rage because he cheated on her.
It's true. I was having an affair with Fillmore, and I couldn't bear the thought of his being with another woman. I poisoned his coffee, and I'm glad I did. I always vowed I would kill before I gave up my seats. And so I did. And I would have gotten away with it too, if it hadn't have been for this humongous private dick.
Detective!
Brilliant, Detective Mungus. You've done it again. Except for one thing. She couldn't have committed the crime.
I didn't write that.
First, she never had access to the coffee. I watched her very carefully all night. She couldn't have poisoned it.
Did anybody hear me say no improvising?
But more importantly, you never had an affair with Fillmore, did you?
No.
But she said...
I said, I can't believe you slept with her. I was referring to my mother. Our mother.
Wait, no, that can't be right. You mean you're my half-sister?
No, we're full-blooded sisters. You see, Dad was impotent, Mom wanted children, and Fillmore was happy to oblige. On several occasions.
And how do you know that?
I found it in his memoir. It was hidden in his desk. He was going to send it to the publisher on Monday. Chapter 9. It was titled, Fillmore Seats Fills More Than Seats. I didn't kill him. I just didn't want him to destroy the memory of our parents.
Alrighty, Hugh. I am completely at a loss here. I didn't see anything tonight that could possibly be a clue to who murdered Fillmore Seats.
Well, then it's time for you to wake up bright and early. Don't you remember after the show when Mrs. Seats practically force-fed her husband the coffee?
Are you going to read the part of Fillmore?
No, you do it. You know I can't play more than one role at a time.
Your coffee, dear.
All right, but you don't have to. Why, yes, please.
Marilyn, could you pass me the cream and sugar?
Of course. Oh, stupid cord, I nearly spilled everything.
Speaking of spillers, you had better stand on the mat.
Someone bring him a chair.
Rose Monroe brings Fillmore his chair as Mrs. Seats prepares his coffee. Little does anyone know that this will be the last simple sip Seats savors before he spasms, sits, suffers, and succumbs.
Really, sweetheart? You don't have to.
One or two.
3.
Mrs. Seats slowly sweetens and stirs the seemingly safe solution until she is sinfully satisfied. I made that one up.
Hey, Hugh, get a load of tomorrow night's script. This is funny stuff.
Comedy scares me. The last time I told a joke on the air, it died a quick and painful death. This is not funny.
Are you saying that?
Precisely. She poisoned the coffee because she had found out that her husband had been having an affair.
But that's not exactly what happened, was it, Mrs. Seats?
No.
Here we go again.
I had known about that affair for a long time. It had been over for many, many years, and I had learned to live with it.
So you didn't poison his coffee?
I most certainly did.
Praise the Lord.
He promised me that the secret of that affair would die with him, that no one would ever know. Tonight I found out about his plan to publish. Thought he should keep his promise.
Case solved by the great, humongous private detective.
Not quite. You didn't poison him, Mrs. Seats.
But I'm quite sure that I did. I found all of that rat poison under the sink. It was shaped in little cubes, just like sugar, to attract the rats. I emptied the sugar bowl into the trash I refilled it with the poison cubes. You can imagine my delight when he asked for 3 lumps.
The rat poison?
Yes, the rat poison. You know something about that, don't you, Rose?
Is that how you got rid of the rats in your apartment? You stole the rat poison?
Why not? She stole my shoes.
Yes, I stole it, and then I bet myself that I wouldn't get caught, so now I guess I'll have to pay up.
But I checked that canister this morning myself and it was full. What did you use to replace the poison?
Sugar.
Green!
Don't even bother.
I got that one wrong too?
Yep, Dirt Dagger is in the clear.
What the? Then who did do it and how?
That I can tell you.
You're a little too clever, detective. How did you know I electrocuted him?
Electrocuted? Yeah, don't you remember the sound I said for none of us to step on that mat?
Was it when I told him to drink his coffee standing on that mat? Was that my big mistake?
Detective bright and early refuses to answer and seems strangely calm with the gun pointed at his head.
Maybe. It was when he saw me set the whole thing up earlier in the evening.
And now the sound guy has a gun pointed at my head. I'm going to shut up now.
Either way, you ruined our plan. But let's face it, The loss of Fillmore's seats was more like a favor to everyone who knew him. All right, up here, detective. Let's go. Everybody else, up here.
Yeah.
Stay where I can see you.
There you go.
Come on, let's go.
Get over there. Fillmore was standing in the way of my career.
What can I say? I know he's a little young for me, but that's not the way he looks at me. And I would kill to be the girl that he sees me as.
You're beautiful, Charity.
And now it's time for us to disappear into the sunset. Fillmore, this is unprofessional.
Well, this is unexpected.
How is he still alive?
He was never actually electrocuted.
I don't understand.
Remember when Marilyn almost tripped with the cream and sugar? She saved his life.
But if there was no electricity and no poison, then what happened?
Very simple, my dear Marilyn. You very nearly killed me.
Okay, first I saved your life and then I nearly killed you.
Irony at its best, dear.
Marilyn, is there something missing from that bracelet closest to your wrist? No, the other wrist.
Well, yes, one of the balls is missing.
Could you describe what the missing bottle looked like?
Yeah, it was cube-shaped and about an inch on each side, and white in color.
Like a sugar cube?
You swallowed my bracelet?
It lodged itself firmly in my throat. This poor man had to practically squeeze it out of me.
Believe me when I tell you it took all of my strength.
I wish you hadn't tried so hard.
Betty!
Now he's going to publish his memoir.
You sucker with a capital!
He's not worth it. Besides, no publisher's going to take that manuscript, Fillmore.
And why is that?
Because someone stole it.
Detective?
I haven't a clue who that might have taken it. Anybody have any ideas?
No!
Tough luck, Fillmore.
But Detective, I still don't understand. If Fillmore wasn't electrocuted, how did you figure out that Charity and her boy tried to kill him?
I didn't. I was completely surprised when she pulled out the gun. I thought Rose did. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
None taken, Detective.
I don't know what to say.
I do. And so, Suspense Radio comes to the end of its broadcast day. From all of us here at
PCT Radio.
Good night and good riddance.